Thank you all for having me. I appreciate it. I wore a polo shirt today. Last time I spoke to a group of Hawaiian investors was at the Sheridan in Maui at BlackRock, and they all sort of made fun of me when I showed up in a suit. So I'm dressed for the occasion today. So thanks everybody for tuning in, listening a little bit here. I am an attorney, so hold your booze for the end of the class, please. Um, at Anderson Advisors, we do specialize in tax and asset protection. We work with real estate investors, stock traders, small business owners to base it at its minimum to keep more of what you earn and protect what you got. That's sort of the quick, easy way to understand it. One of the other main things we do is we're a premier education company. So prior to COVID, I was probably on over 200 flights a year all over the country teaching 2-3 day classes on tax and asset protection. So with COVID, we've turned more digital like everybody else. We have an active YouTube channel. I'm partial to one of our video series called Coffee with Carl. I'll let you guess who hosts that one. But really our purpose is to educate. If you like our education and you want to honor us with your business or have us set up a business entity, if you have a business you'd like to protect or have us do some tax planning for you, always happy to sit down and have a conversation. Couple of quick stats that popped up in my mind just because with Anderson, we have I think at last count somewhere over 40,000 clients over all 50 states, including Hawaii. Things about Las Vegas that make it appealing, right? Number one, there's no state income tax. So if you're becoming a resident of the state of Nevada, no income tax. So that chart we saw earlier with the amount of income growth, those other states that were actually ahead of Nevada, I don't know that they factored in the state income tax because it would probably skew the numbers a little bit. The second thing, last time I checked, Hawaii had I think it's a $30,000 homestead exemption. So basics on a homestead exemption is it's what the state gives you to protect the equity in your property. In Nevada, it's $550,000. So if your house costs less than $550,000 and you own it outright, nobody can take it. So it's an incredibly valuable piece, especially if we're talking about retirees considering where you want to retire. I lived in Nevada or had a house in Nevada as well. And I took advantage of all the great golf. There's an app you can use and find all the best prices on the courses. I loved it. I lived actually up in Sky Canyon, so I can speak to that area. I really enjoyed it, and it's growing. When I moved in there, we were sort of like the last house where development stopped several years ago, and now I think they're adding. Last time we checked, I think it was over 10,000 new single-family homes. Nationwide, if you check the statistics, and Nevada, of course, is in those statistics, there is a demand for single-family homes that cannot be met. The demand is much higher than the supply, especially when you look at the time it takes to actually build a home. Quite frankly, it won't catch up for years and years and years. So when I hear, is it a good time to invest? Quite frankly, it's a good time to invest anywhere. Real estate's one of those really interesting items that if you hold it long enough, you always look smart. So if you can afford to hold on to it, keep it, because given any significant amount of time, it appreciates. So Nevada is no different. Everything the folks have said on here is true. There's a huge demand. There's not enough people to fill jobs. Even at Anderson, we grow exponentially year to year. We can't hire fast enough. We're drawing attorneys. We're drawing sort of general positions from all over the country at this point, and we still can't grow fast, and we still can't hire and train fast enough. So I can use our sort of a local business there. Another piece I'll just touch on real quick before I turn the floor back over. One of my favorite restaurants on the north side is Baby Stacks. I don't know that it's a Hawaiian restaurant, but it has all the staples, all the good breakfast foods, the musubi, that's my north side restaurant recommendation. So yeah, and what we'll do too, and I'll shoot this link. I don't know if everybody can see it, but if not, we can share it again. 4 quick pieces. I'm not going to go into detail because we don't have enough time today. But when I look at for investors is tax, because we know we're going to have to pay taxes every year. Second is going to be the asset protection piece of what you're doing. So these are more the business entity side. Business planning is putting those two things together. So if you're looking to be more lendable or more attractive to business partners, things like that, the consulting portion of that or the business planning side can be incredibly valuable. And then finally, the estate planning piece that ties it all together to make sure you're not paying an attorney more than you're able to pass on to your family. Just a quick piece there. If you don't have an estate plan or you have a will, your estate will go through probate. And on average, you're looking at about 18 months to make it through probate, as well as somewhere in the 8 to 10% range of your gross estate to make it through probate. And if you have properties in multiple states, probate in each of those states. A living trust, which is a relatively inexpensive tool, solves that problem. So that's your, I guess, your piece of nice information I can give you today. The link I supplied, if everybody can see it, it's just a link to have a free consultation, so we can discuss what you're doing, what your plans are, and then I would encourage all of you to go to the Anderson Advisor YouTube channel and take advantage of all the free content. Anybody who's aware of us knows that we put out a ton of free content because we want our clients to be educated. Other than that, I think I should probably wrap up because I'm bound to go way over my time if I keep going.
You're
Well,
good.
One quick question, Carl.
Yes.
I'd say from our seminar series, I'd say close to half of all of the people that our clients that are buying up there are doing it for investment purposes. Is there one small nugget of advice you could give them as far as what to do once they get that property?
So, okay, investment properties belong in LLCs. So you want to separate your business assets from your personal assets. I know there was a couple mentions of the 1031 exchange. 1031 exchanges are certainly available. Those are for investment properties. If we can sit down and do some planning, even if you're, say, selling your personal residence, this is actually a really good time to do it, because if I can change it from a personal residence into an investment property, I can take advantage of two things. One is the 121 exclusion that you find in the Internal Revenue Code, which as a single person, you can exclude 250,000 of capital gains from a sale of a property. Married people can do up to 500. But then before I sit, and you only have to own the property or reside in the property for 2 of the last 5 years. And then you can actually, if I even attempt to rent the property, usually I give a guideline about 6 months, try to get it rented for about 6 months. The attempt or the intent to rent that property is enough that now not only can you take that 121 exclusion, but now you can exchange the remainder of that value for new investment properties and defer that capital gain.
Excellent, excellent. Glad we have you on board here, and a lot smarter than me. Get it. Very good advice. Very good advice.
Actually, Carl, we came up with your company because you were heavily referred to us back in Hawaii by our financial planners. So I want to tell everybody here at our seminar that a lot of people from Hawaii use these guys up here. So in today's world where you can do things on the internet or virtual like this, you should give these guys a look, because their name always comes up when we talk to financial planners here in Honolulu.
Well, thank you. It's a credit to the partners of Anderson, Toby Mathis, Clint Coons, and Michael Bowman. And we act with integrity. So we've always found if we act with integrity, people come back for more.